there's something in there about in need of no further proof or something.
I see, I'm going to change the name of this little money-making group. I've got to get in there one of these days and give them my 2 minutes worth of something to think about. Yeah, this is just crazy. Maybe possessors or something. But they turn around. I found somebody fuck off somewhere. They don't understand about no trespassing.
They've ever been strong on their rules.
No, and you know what? It's hard to even keep people, even just average people, or even just defiant people.
Is that for jury or is that for?
Oh, yeah, the dogs off the leash. Yeah, you don't care about that. But, yeah, we'll see what. What I noticed was, I don't even think it's on the Ohio.
It's a cleansing feeling when you set a case for jury trial. There's a finish line in sight, and you have to take stuff for jury trial.
Thank you. You saying that was by a few years, getting a lot of abuse for saying that?
Some people.
Comforting.
Yeah.
Justice, how you doing, sir?
And I said,
We can't, I got my own special photographer, so.
they've got the judges having their session.
Okay, I appreciate that. I don't have any trust that. I appreciate it. We did use your room. I think you and your jury. I appreciate it. All right, Justice.
Next is we're going, and we're talking heavier rain, thunder Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning.
Set the roll, right page.
I'm going to. Right here. I'd wait.
Jury, please step in line up.
Is that letter okay, thank you? Any letter? Any?
Oh, it's fine.
And the greenhouse effect here, he's trying to create?
Mark, who's two behind the jury?
No, it's just something. Right. Well, no, it would be like that one recording him, like, just actually help
All right.
Whenever you're comfortable, you can see it. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, thank you very much for coming back. Thanks for your cooperation. We really appreciate it. Everybody have a good weekend? Everybody okay? Any problems over the weekend? Anything come up or anything? Okay. All right, thank you all very much. We're going to jump right back into it. You've been doing great so far. Please let me know if you need any kind of break. If you can't hear, if you can't see or whatever, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much again. Mrs. Crider, whenever you're ready.
Apologize. Well, where's your clothing at? She was wearing clothes about that. I understand that. What other injuries are we going to find? Should be bruising, kicking. Where at? Her head, her face, her torso, her back, her legs? Where? Anthony, look, they're going to do an autopsy on this child, okay? You understand that? And they're going to have medical information that comes back. And they're going to report back to the detectives in the prosecutor's office. And then they're going to ask me, Detective Witherell, did Mr. Kirkland give you a statement? Yes, he did. And what did he tell you? And I'm going to say this is what he said. And they're going to ask me about details. Did he cooperate? Did he provide information that helped you with your investigation? And for some reason, you're having a difficult time kind of closing the deal, if you will. All right? I know you're not an evil monster. I know you're not a bad man. I know that this one event doesn't define you as a person. But this is the kind of stuff that you got to say in your own words. When you guys left, what condition was she in? Or I should say, when you left, what condition was she in? She wasn't in a sexual condition. Okay, what kind of injuries does she have, or should she have? What are they going to find? Head trauma? Okay, and what's that from? Did you hit her with an object? Did you hit her with your fist? Did you strike her with your knee, elbow, foot? What? Okay. How many times did you punch her? More than once? Several? Multiple? Okay. What other injuries are going to be on her autopsy? What are they going to find? How did they find her? I don't know. They were looking, they've been searching. My guess is they probably have canines and people and all that. I want to know what happened when you guys got back down to that other location. I understand she ran away and you chased after her. What happened at that other scene, that other location? Okay, where'd she fall? In the woods or up on the path or trail or where? Okay, and when she fell, what did you do? What did you hit her with? Okay. Then what? What? That's when you saw Pedro? Yes, sir. Okay. What happened? And what happened? What happened after that? Pedro wanted to know what happened? Okay. Well, wasn't it obvious? She was running and fell, and then you were punching her? Do what? It wasn't what was happening. What was going on? Okay. What happened? Well, I understand that. What happened after that? I know. Hey, why is this part so hard for your partner? Yes. Because none of this was ever supposed to happen. And that's what, you know what, and I understand that. No, I understand that. I do understand that, Anthony. We get the fact that this is not some drug / robbery / bad dope deal / whatever that we deal with on a regular basis. Alright? We fully understand that. This isn't one of those cost of doing business type homicide cases, but I understand. And that's the reason why I'm trying to get as much detail from you about exactly what occurred. You understand that, right? I know you're a good man in your heart. Otherwise, you wouldn't be healthy. We recognize that. Okay? Let's just finish up what we started. You know, there's no point in starting something and then just leaving it 3/4 or however half-baked. You just told me this that child was dead. Yeah, and I can't. That child wasn't dead when I saw that child left key. Okay, well tell me about that. Tell me about that. I gotta know about that. Where did you leave the child? Okay. Where did you go after that? What did you do? That's where I was up to eat. Well, then how did you know where the child was at? How were you going to take us to it?
Angel, remember we met up and went back to the other bar.
Okay.
I told you about that. Which one? I wasn't in a position to get a bad boy. God. Was it an aggravated burglary? Police and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what your warrants are. If you're asking me, I don't know.
Those are 10 years of peace. 20 years.
Well, I don't know anything about those cases is what I'm getting at, Anthony. How did you know where she was located? How did you know where she was at? The child. How did you know where she was at?
I knew. Wasn't too many places that she could. I mean, he didn't have.
Well, then hang on for a second. All kinds of places she could have been. She could have ran home. She could have been in any part of those woods up there.
Was it in the woods?
Or wherever. I don't know, anywhere up near the reservoir. Andy, there's a reason that you were telling us that you knew where this child was located. There was a reason for that. And now basically you're trying to say that you really had no idea.
And
Well, how did you know? Okay. Explain that to me.
that was when I got so back.
Andy, I'm not a mind reader. I mean, I want to listen to your story, but you know what I mean? I can't read your mind. Why did you go back, Anthony?
What did I? I wanted to go back to make sure she was all right.
What did you find when you went back?
Honestly, I didn't find anything.
What do you mean you didn't find anything? She wasn't there.
Where?
Listen to me. You're running a game now.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. Listen to me. All right? Now, there are things about what happened to that little girl that we are aware of. All right? That's the reason why I was asking, what kind of injuries? You're saying you left her on the trail and Pedro pops up and then you just walk away. That didn't make any sense.
Well,
Okay? If she's alive and well at that point, my thought is she gets up and she runs away from you guys.
Right.
If you're now in retreat mode, right?
Right.
And you're just walking away, right?
Right.
She certainly didn't stay there.
Right. She can identify me. She did not picture. She didn't potentially right out.
So she could identify you. And what? I didn't hear the last part of what you were saying.
I said that she could identify me and he brought that up.
Pedro brought that up to you. Okay, so what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Just said, you know, you've been on the news. You've been on the news.
So what'd you say? And then he assaulted her?
And I had assaulted her. And I had assaulted her.
Okay. Twice. 2 times. So while you and Peyton were having this discussion, what's she doing?
I was actually back in the way.
What?
I was actually back in the way.
Okay. What is she doing at that point?
She can get out.
Is she conscious?
I couldn't tell.
Was she moving?
I couldn't tell.
Were there any signs of life?
I couldn't tell.
Okay. So what does Pedro say to you at that point?
So you go ahead and meet up with me.
So then you just walk away? Yes or
So
no?
out with I was the young and pleading.
Do what?
That's when we really had attracted him.
Because she was yelling and screaming and pleading?
Because she was hard.
Okay. But now she wasn't making any noise. She was laid out on the ground. You couldn't tell if she was even alive or not. Even she was breathing. Pedro just happens upon you
I
guys.
couldn't tell if she was.
Well, hang on for a second. Pedro just happens upon you guys. You guys have a quick discussion about how you're wanted and you've been all over TV, right? And then how she can identify you, so then Pedro tells you just to walk away. Is that what happened? Okay. And where do you go?
Up the hill like I told you.
Okay. Do you and Pedro meet up again at some point?
Yes.
Okay. And then what do you and Pedro talk about? Okay, what does he tell you?
He told me, he said, I think you'll be all right. That's what he told me.
Okay, did he give you any details?
He just told me.
Well, how did you know where she was at then? How did you know the location of her body? If all he said was you're going to be okay, and you left her on the path, how would you have a clue on where she was at?
That's what he said. Because of what he said.
Because somebody said what? all right? If you struck her and kicked her and stalked her, I understand all that. If you did that, and she wasn't responsive, and you moved her off the path to hide her, and you left, and that's how you know where she was at, I understand that makes sense.
I wish it had been like that.
Well, what you're telling me right now doesn't make any sense at all. 0 cents.
None of this makes any sense.
I mean, you told me that you were committed to helping me. You told me that you were committed to helping this other family, this family that's going nuts. I mean, I'm not even sure if they know yet. I'm not sure we're going to have to go out there and advise them of what's going on. I mean, I want to be able to give them something. And listen to me. Hey, ain't nobody walks up on some encounter like that and then just, okay, brother,
That happened.
I'll take one for the team, and then you just walk away from it? That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't walk past it. Walk away.
Well, do you help Pedro move the body off the path? Is that the way you know where she was located?
I didn't know exactly where she was.
Well, how are you going to take exactly to her, us to her?
Because that was the area that was going to be closed off.
What I'm asking, how are you going to take us exactly to where she was at? You're over to where you know where she's at. You can take us to her. That's what you told us. Anthony, I think doing the right thing, telling the truth. I know this is a terrible tragedy. I know it is. I couldn't think of a worse for a family. But everything after that, it all matters. It all counts. It's necessary. That's what separates decent people from animals. It's all the after stuff, because guess what? We're all capable of murder. We're all capable of killing people. We're all capable of that. All right? But in the animal kingdom, they do it because they're hungry, or they do it because they're in fear, or they do it for all these other reasons. But animals, there's no sense of right and wrong. Okay? Humans are different. That's why we're way up here on the food chain. We understand that. I know you feel badly. I understand that. I mean, I walk away from this as it is right now. Then you didn't bring it on.
We're getting too deep.
How did she get down into the woods? That's what I'm confused on.
Down into the woods.
Yeah. The officer said they found her in some wooded area. How did she get down into some wooded area? I don't know. We haven't been out there. I've been here with you. I'm just going off what I've been told. And in the entire time, you were telling us that you were going to take us to her. How did you know that? And if you moved her down there to get her out of the way, that's fine. You just got to tell us. If you weren't sure on what her condition was, you just got to say it.
I'm trying to receive. I'm trying to receive and relive everything that happened. Alright. It happened so fast. It happened so fast and so senselessly. This one that happened to you. So many events I got confused. But things on the stuff I tell you are true.
Well, I hope the whole thing's the truth. Is what you told me true? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, why did you tell me earlier that you could take me to her?
yes, I could, Keith.
Okay, and how would you be able to if the last time you saw her was up on the path?
Because it wasn't the way that she was. It couldn't have been too many errors. She wasn't.
No, that's bull. You know that's bull. That's not going to cut it. Where are her clothing items? Why does she have ligature marks on her wrists? These are the answers that I want. These are the answers that I think that you can help me with.
What do you mean, ligature marks on the wrist?
Yeah. That's something else they found.
What are ligature marks?
Where you wrap somebody's hands up, tie their hands up with something, and then it leaves a mark.
I have no idea about that. That I have no idea about. Honestly, I have no idea about that.
So is this how we're gonna leave all this just the way it is right now? You're not gonna be truthful with the rest of the story, so to speak?
Keith, if you already have it in your mind,
Well, I'm trying to figure out why you're not telling me now. I'm trying to figure out why you're asking about taking me out to a place where you don't know, because now you're saying you really had no idea.
I did know what she
You said a general area. All right?
There wasn't any other places she could go, Keith.
Man, there's all kinds of places you could have went. Look at this.
Yeah.
There's reservoir right here.
Keith, if that officer last night came here to me and said they had a child that was missing, it wasn't too many places that child could be in yesterday. It wasn't too many places, man. All bullshit aside, Keith, it was not too many places.
Again, what I'm trying to get at you is I'm trying to understand this. Anthony, I want to understand this.
Understand you, man. I'm telling you, Keith, that the shit happened so fast and so quick.
Well, let me tell you this. I can only think of two possible ways that you would know exactly where somebody was at. Number one, you were there, you put them there, and you left them there. Number two, somebody else told you, brought you down there, and showed you exactly where the person was. Those are the only two options that I can think of. That's it. And your statement is that you left her lifeless up on the path with some dude named Baker. Hey, man, I'm with you. I want to understand what this is. But that, quite honestly, doesn't make sense to me. You've come so far. You've come so far, Anthony. Have peace with this thing, Anthony. You'll never have peace until you get it out. He's right. Terry's right. What happened? Come on, Anthony. Tell us what happened. Have peace with this whole situation. Get it all out.
bullet in the body. Close to the body. That's why I was up there. As soon as I got my push about everything, I was going to get the body.
So you did know she was dead? Is that what you're telling me? You're so close, Anthony. Is that what you're saying? You did know she was dead? Is that a yes? Okay. Now, what can you tell us about her injuries? How did she die? Anthony, how did she die? You've made that big jump. You've told us you knew she was dead, and you were going to move the body. How did she die? Anthony, look at me. How did she die? We understand that you lost control, but you got so angry. How did she die? Come on, you're there. Because of what?
My hatred.
Your hatred? And
That's why she died.
did you kill her?
No, sir.
Did you beat her? And then how did she die because of your anger?
And I love Father that mirror from the first place.
Alright, I think we're going to be at a, unfortunately, an impasse here because,
The injuries that she had.
well, you know what, I'm not, you should know. You were there, and you inflicted these injuries. Alright, you punched her, you kicked her, you stomped her. This is a child. So open to you. Explain to me how you were going to take us exactly to where she was located then. And I gave you my two conceivable possibilities. Okay, and how do you know that? Anthony, how do you know that? Okay, you saw it. Does that mean you saw her? Okay, what did you see?
She's over there.
Okay. And I'm guessing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pedro? Is that what we're talking about? Okay, so the two of you meet up again when you were going to go back to move the body? Was he with you then the whole time? Or did
Suppose they had taken a nap. Suppose they took a nap and waited till later. Waited till later on. So I kept my nap and I suppose they had back and wake me up. And then that's when I see the officers moved in.
Okay, so what you're saying is, you beat her life, listen, you beat her lifeless.
No.
Hang on, that's what you said. You didn't know if she was moving or anything. Hang on. This is up on the path. This is up on the trail still.
It wasn't any...
Listen to me. You beat her up a second time because she ran from you, and you chased her down, you knocked her down, or she fell, and you hit her again. Pedro, he just happens upon you guys, and he wants to know what's up.
Pedro was coming around.
Okay?
Around the back.
And I understand that. So you guys meet up. She's there. The child's there. Okay, she's down. Your words were she was laid out. She wasn't moving.
Breathing.
Well, but you didn't say that a minute ago. You said you just didn't know. You weren't sure. And then you just walk away from it because Pedro, your boy Pedro, he's going to make it all better. He's going to take care of it because of all the reasons we discussed. Hey, you're a wanted felon. You've been on TV. She can identify you, etc., etc. And then I'm asking you, well, how do you know? And you say your words are, yeah, she's dead. She's dead. I'm coming back to move the body.
I didn't find out till after I was on my way back from Davenport.
Does that make sense to you, Ted?
Not to me.
I want to hear you. I'm trying to follow you. It doesn't make sense to me.
Let's break it down to you real simple here. Anthony, we've recovered her body. We know what her injuries are. It's time now for you to man up and tell us what happened. It's that simple. Either you can do that or you can't. You can either be a man and take responsibility and be that dad we were talking about earlier, or you can keep playing these games and we can just leave it at that. What's done is done. Anthony, what's done is done. And all we're asking is that you offer some explanation, that you tell us the truth on your own behalf. Something that gives us a reason why it happened, instead of those quizzical looks.
Understanding of why it happened.
Well, you can't answer some very basic connect the dot type questions, which means that you're refusing to.
No, that doesn't mean that I'm refusing to.
Is that where we're going to leave it?
That isn't exactly this what that means. Now, I hit that child. I struck that child out of anger. Pretty much like you do that there. Right. I mean, that's just like you telling me about Terry. If I don't see Terry, I mean, what about
See, the thing is, Anthony, look, these are very direct questions. I mean, this isn't a matter of us trying to...
I don't have a direct answer to
Okay,
you.
so basically what you're saying is you really had no idea on where the body was, and that you were feeding me a line of bull earlier.
No.
Okay. My question to you is this. How did you, Anthony Kirkland, how were you going to be able to take the police to exactly the location of this child? How are you going to be able to accomplish that?
Because I knew.
Okay, how did you know where she was at?
The same reason. Everywhere.
Talking in circles again. How did you know? Did you move? When you went back to move the body?
I didn't.
Did you move her?
I had a chance to move
Okay.
her.
Did you assist in moving her?
No.
Okay. How did you know she was there then?
This is what he said. That's what he said.
Okay. That's what he said.
She's down there.
And this is Pedro. Yes.
The thing was, I had to move the body. I had to get the body up off from down there. It's either get the body out from down there, or get somebody's car to move the body, or take the body out of there. One of the two. And even then, sitting there under the tree and just allowed this shit to happen. Was when I actually dozed off.
So you actually fell asleep and dozed off?
When I sit there under the tree and dozed off, the next thing I know is when the police came.
About how far where the police stopped you and picked you up at? About how far away were you from where the little girl was?
I left out the length. Maybe about 3/4 of the length from 3/4 of the length of the
Reservoir?
Right, about 3/4 of the length.
She was further down
Yeah.
in the wooded areas? Down in the wooded area? Is there anything else you want to add? Terry, is there anything else you want to add? Anything else? We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. We're going to go ahead and conclude the interview. I want to make sure that, you get a chance to say something. I mean, if I didn't ask you a direct question you think is important, and you want to say it now.
I don't know what's important anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean about the investigation here.
All I know is,
Is there anything else you want to tell us, Anthony, before we end this? Okay.
I didn't get a chance to.
But let's be clear though. When you left her, she was laid out up on the trail.
Yes.
And you didn't know what her condition was. She wasn't moving, she wasn't breathing, you just didn't know. You couldn't tell.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and conclude it. Terry, is that okay? It's fine. What is today, the 8th? March 8th, 2009.
That was it, I know that really doesn't make a difference. I know that it really doesn't matter.
I'm trying to get some pleasure to it. Trying to feel it. The truth does always matter.
But to my parents,
Do you want to say anything to them?
I had no reason, or I had no right to strike that child. Even if we did, only collide. I should have just left it alone.
Okay, let's go ahead and conclude.
All right, the time is now 3:10 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay.
Interview one.
That concludes that interview.
Were there any further questions? Why don't you step up? Officer, please, Detective, I'm sorry, please remember that you're under oath. Okay. Before is everybody okay? Everybody's all right? Okay, go ahead and take the seats there so next up. Voice of the answer, we can all hear you. Can you see? Okay.
Should I scoot further?
No, everybody's good, okay. All right.
Just a few more questions, Detective Witherell. There's a mention in the interview about Daly Park. Is that also known as McAvoy Park?
Yes, sir, that's true.
How far is that from the scene of the murder here?
A handful of blocks.
Okay, if you would go up Winton Road and go left on North Bend Road, the next major intersection would be Daly Road, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's
And
correct.
it's in that area?
Yes.
And at some point in the interview where the defendant was talking about he was on his way to his mom's house, how far away was she from Daly Park where he indicated he had made it to?
Again, I don't know in miles, but again, it was a handful of blocks. His mother lived in the area.
Okay. Two women were mentioned in the interview, a Sherry Lee and a Roberta Baldwin. Who were they?
Former girlfriends of Mr. Kirkland.
And the one, I believe, Roberta Baldwin, is she the one that we believe is the mother of his child?
That's my understanding, yes.
And the address on Ridgeway, going back to the homicides of Cassania and Mary Jo, we had the one exhibit that showed where those occurred, and there was an address on Ridgeway in between those two locations. Is that where she lived?
Yes, sir. I believe it was 860 Ridgeway.
There was also a reference to the defendant leaving VOA. What is that, or what was that?
That was a halfway house that he was assigned to, that he was expelled from.
And does that stand for Volunteers of America?
Oh, forgive me, Volunteers of America.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
There's also, again, a reference in the interview to the defendant had consumed some beer and Vicodin sometime the day before this interview. Is that correct?
That's what he said, yes.
Was there any indication to you when you're interviewing him that he was under the influence of either of those, or that he did not know what was going on?
No, sir. He was acutely aware and highly engaged. I think the interview stands on its own merits. 4 hours and 12 minutes of constant dialogue between both myself and Mr. Kirkland.
No other questions, Judge?
Thank you. Cross-examination? Okay, thank you very much for your testimony. You step down. Watch your step as you step down, please.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Everybody okay? It's still early and we all got a lot of energy left. Okay, that's good. That's good. We'll keep rolling then. You ready to call your next witness in, please?
Yes, sir. Our witness be Bill Hilbert.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to stand up and stretch a little bit or whatever. We're going to be there for a while, so whatever you need to do. Thanks. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you, sir. Watch your step. Thank you for your patience. The microphone will adjust. Whatever you need to do, just keep close. Thank you.
Everybody see okay? All right, very good. Sir, would you introduce yourself to the jurors and tell them what you do for a living?
My name is Bill Hilbert. I'm with Cincinnati Police Department. I'm with the Homicide Unit.
How long have you been with the Cincinnati Police Department?
Beginning my 28th year in the month.
So you just got there.
Yeah.
All right. How long have you been in the homicide unit?
Just started my 18th year.
18 years. Okay. You were in homicide back in 2006 and 7, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
During that period of time, were you partnered with Keith Witherell, who's seated at the council table?
Yes, I was.
And then later, sometime, I guess maybe early 09, you got a new partner, and that would be Howard Grant?
Yeah, I think Howard, we started partnering up in the late, maybe November of 2008. And then we were partners in 2000.
Going into 2009?
2007 to 2009, we were partners.
Now, is that how you work in the homicide unit? You're paired with somebody, and it changes from time to time, but you have the two lead officers on a case, and you have everybody else kind of as support?
Correct.
Okay. Did you investigate in May of 2006 and June of 2006 the homicides of Cassandra Crawford and Mary Jo Newton?
I did.
As the investigator looking into these cases, did they bear any similarities that caused you to maybe suspect that the same person had perpetrated both homicides?
That was definitely an angle we were pursuing after this Mary Jo was found.
What kinds of things did you note that both of these homicides contained?
Both of them were in the same area of a town. I believe they were within a half a mile of each other. The condition of the body, both of them were burnt. They were females, and the type of area where they were found was literally a dumping area or a high drug use area. In the case of Mary Jo, it was next to a building where there was a lot of drug use.
Okay. Okay. And they were, like, as you mentioned, they were close in proximity to each other.
Correct.
All right. Both were identified by dental records by the coroner's lab, is that correct?
Yes, they were.
And one other similarity, they didn't get solved right away. Is that a fair statement?
No, they did not.
Bill, I've known you a long time. Is that the kind of thing that wears on you as a homicide investigator when you're investigating cases like this and you can't find who perpetrated it? And that person who perpetrated the crime is still out there?
Mr. Gibson, I'm sorry. I didn't see it. I apologize. Did you answer that, sir?
I did not.
Okay, go ahead and answer.
Could you repeat it?
Does it wear on you when you're investigating a case like that and you can't solve it, you can't crack it, and you suspect that that person's still out there?
Yes, I had a lot more hair back then, and it wasn't as gray. I probably weighed 10 to 15 pounds lighter.
When these two cases didn't get solved right away, did you just set them aside, or where did they go?
No, we actually kept the case file. It became enormous, the case files, at our desk, and then when Keith and I split up, he just went over to the next desk, and we had like a little area that we kept it, and we constantly were following up with information, with leads. Officers would call us with some information, people would call. You'd hear something in a courthouse that you'd follow up on.
Okay.
So there was slow periods, and there was always some information coming in.
Of those two cases, did you have a little more to go on with Cassandra Crawford's case than you did with Mary Jo's?
We did.
Okay. People saw her shortly before she disappeared as opposed to Mary Jo.
Correct.
Is that fair?
Yes, and there was also a phone call.
That she's
like
talking
we could
to people.
pinpoint a time at the last time she received and actually responded to a phone call.
As an investigator, you were aware that Cassandra Crawford should have had property with her.
Yes.
Was any of that property found on or around her body?
No, it wasn't.
What kind of property are we talking about?
Well, there was her cell phone, which we actually put minutes back on the cell phone and kept pinging it, and it pinged for a couple days in the same area.
So you didn't find the phone, But you
No,
called the provider?
we searched the area for the phone
Okay.
also.
So you called the provider and had them put minutes back on the phone?
Correct.
What's the point of that? How does that help you try to find?
Well, there's
this
two
person?
different, if whoever took the phone would make phone calls or receive phone calls, we would be able to follow up at that angle. But the more important thing for us, I think, was the actual pinging of the phone, which is...
Can you explain to the jurors what that means when you have the phone ping?
All cell phones hit a tower, and they generally, most of the time, hit the nearest tower to where the phone call is being made. And these towers triangulate a location which is not an exact GPS or location. It's just an area where the phone may have been, and it's usually a 1 to 2 mile radius.
Okay, so it at least gives you a proximity where that phone may be.
Right.
Okay.
If you have a phone that you're looking for and it pings in Avondale, you know that there's no reason to look for it in Price Hill, which is the west side of town. When
you would ping that missing phone of Cassania Crawford, what tower would it hit?
There was a tower at the Cincinnati Zoo which covered most of Avondale, and then there was another tower in Walnut Hills which was real close to the crime scene also.
Okay.
The area where she was found was right on the edge of Walnut Hills and Avondale.
Okay. And would that tower have covered the area where Anthony Kirkland was living at that time on Ridgeway?
Yes, 860 Ridgeway.
All right. So these homicides, almost 3 years later, in March of 2009, they still hadn't been solved. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, Bill, sometime early in March of 2009, maybe on the 7th or the 8th, did you learn that a young girl named Esme Kinney had been murdered and that a person named Anthony Kirkland had been arrested for that crime?
Yes. I was out of town on vacation, and I received several phone calls in the evening I missed on my cell, and I woke up to 7 missed calls. I called Detective Luke, who had left the messages, and she briefed me on what was going on, and then I headed back to Cincinnati.
Okay. Jump in your car and drive right back?
Yes.
And at that time, back in March of 2009, was Cincinnati Police Homicide Unit located right over on Broadway Street?
824 Broadway, yes.
Okay. Just a few blocks from where we are now?
Correct.
What was going on when you got back to the homicide unit?
When I got back to the unit, Keith Witherall was interviewing Anthony Kirkland, referenced the homicide which occurred the previous evening of Esme Kinney. I was briefed by some of the other detectives of what was found and what was going on with the case. They had that case pretty well under control. I know they didn't need my assistance on any investigating of what happened the previous night. We had Mr. Kirkland on our radar for over 2 years. We had believed he was responsible for Cassania and Mary Jo Newton. And so I started preparing either to assist Keith or to go in and interview Mr. Kirkland after he got done with the Esme and Kinney investigation.
And I think Keith Wither talked to him from approximately 11 a.m. to approximately 3 p.m. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
And the focus of his interview was the Esme Kinney case, is that correct?
That's correct.
The other cases weren't brought up?
No, they weren't.
All right. Shortly after, did you have occasion to listen to any of that interview?
I listened to a little bit of it.
Okay.
And I was briefed of what I missed. It was obvious Keith had control of that interview, and I felt like I didn't want to know any more about the Kinney investigation.
You wanted to get ready for the interviews you were going to do?
Correct. I know that sounds a little, I was not trying to be selfish, I just know they didn't need me on that part of the investigation.
Okay. So you got your files on Cassania Crawford
and Mary Jo Newton
and started going back over, making sure you recalled it all accurately?
Correct.
And at some point, did you go into the interview room?
Yes, I think I got in there around 4:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
They had done some tests. They were obtaining evidence from Mr. Kirkland. I assisted them on that, and then went into interview.
Like taking DNA samples and swabs and stuff like that? Okay. So they're getting all that done, and when they're finished, you go in. I think the time, it looks like it's about 4:49 p.m.
That sounds
about
right.
Okay. Anybody go in to do the interview with you?
I went in alone.
By yourself? All right. And do you see the person here in the courtroom that you went in to interview on that date?
Yes, he's seated at the defense table with the brown plaidish tie and a striped shirt.
All right. And Judge, could the record reflect his identification of the defendant, Anthony Kirkland?
Record was certified.
He had been previously advised of his Miranda rights, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What did you tell him? How did you start when you went in?
Well, I kind of just refreshed him about this. I know you refreshed him about his Miranda rights. I didn't go into any detail about it. But then I explained who I was, why I was there, and I wanted to talk about Mary Jo Newton first. Number one, because he admitted in a previous interview he knew Mary Jo. And number two, she was an older victim and wasn't a child. And I felt if he was going to talk, he would feel more comfortable talking about Mary Jo before he talked about Cassandra Crawford.
Okay. Did he indicate he was willing to talk with you?
Yes.
Did he ever tell you, hey, I don't want to talk, I want to exercise my right to remain silent, I want a lawyer, anything like that?
No, he did not.
He was willing to talk?
He was.
And so you sit down and your interview, and this interview starts with Mary Jo Newton and Cassandra Crawford, is that correct?
Yeah, I like to use the word, we danced around a little bit, words, questions, back and forth, how do you know this, and blah, blah, blah. But then we started with Mary Jo.
All right. And this interview was recorded, is that correct?
It was audio recorded.
And I think you record them on a disc. We've since transferred it to a thumb drive. It's marked 8C. Is that the interview you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
And it went about 2 hours and 23 minutes?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, I know you went back in. I'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, okay.
But the first interview went about 2 hours and 23 minutes?
Yes.
Judge, at this time I would ask that 8C be moved into evidence and played for the jury.
No objection. 8C will be admitted. Thank you. She's setting that up, ladies and gentlemen. We've been out here for about an hour. I think everybody looks pretty good. Everybody okay? Please, if during the course of this, raise your hand. At some point, I will get back to you to take a break. Okay, we're not going to try to stamina thing, but we'll try to go for a while. Is that okay with everybody? Thank you all very much.
Judge, we have Officer Gilbert come over here so he doesn't have to sit on the stand for the whole time.
Get a chair for him, or you can get a chair. Please. You can move it over there. Take it wherever you can. Thank you. Okay.
This is Bill Hilbert. Today's date is 3/8/09. Time now is 16:39 hours. I'm going in to interview Anthony Kirkland. The reference I went for last night of the homicide. Did you get that piece of paper? Oh, you want? Yeah. Another day, you made. My name is Bill Hilbert. I'm probably more familiar with you than you are with me. I'm one of the investigators assigned in charge of this case. and a couple other cases. What we just did is we conducted a search warrant, and this is your copy. And we were looking for things related to the crime last night. Okay? Now, I know the other detectives have been talking to you. You're still, nothing's changed. You're advising your rights. But what I want to talk to you about is what's going to happen from here, okay? I know you've been in the system before, you've been in and out of prison, so you pretty much, yeah, go ahead. You're going to be charged with the murder of that young girl last night, okay? There's a lot more evidence that we found, and we can connect directly to you. And I really don't care what you said about that at all. That's their investigation. I'm going to let them handle it, okay? I want to talk about what Keith has talked to you about in the past. I was Keith's partner for 2 years, and I was out of town last night. I came in town, that's why I just got here, okay? Got here about a couple hours ago. I have been investigating Cassandra Crawford and Mary Jo Newton. Now, when Keith talked to you the first time, I know that you mentioned that you knew Mary Jo or saw her around. You know the two girls I'm talking about?
Mary Jo.
Okay. Right. How did you know Mary Jo?
Met Mary Jo from, she was actually getting out of the Justice Center last Saturday.
When you were at the Justice Center?
At a bus, getting off the bus.
What bus? Where at?
Downtown, across the street from the Justice Center.
Was it around the time that the same year that she went missing and that we found her, or was it a different time? I mean, how many years prior to that had you known her besides?
That was around, was it?
June of 06, or of the year that she died?
2006.
Yeah, found her about 11. Did you strike up a conversation with her? Did you?
Mary Jo.
What'd you talk about?
We called her Mary.
Called her Mary?
We talked about some of everything.
What kind of person was she?
Mary. I know she was kind of down on money.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
Well, I know that she was a prostitute, or she did things to support a drug habit, so you don't have to mince words there. You're not talking bad about her when you say that or anything. It's just truth, and I just don't be afraid to climb that little mountain there.
Mary, I can't say anything bad about her.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say anything bad about her. Because I can say that I need to meet up like on the weekends or something.
Where would you meet up at?
I need to meet up on Hamilton Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Or meet her downtown.
Where at downtown?
Over by the library on Ezra Charles. I meet her down there.
Would you pick her up in your van, or would you just meet up with her? I mean, you were driving Roberta's van at the time, weren't you?
Who's?
Roberta.
I had my own car.
Well, what was that? Was that the van, or was that your dad? Stepdad's van? Clarence? Where'd you guys go to? Did you guys engage in sexual activity?
Me and Mary?
Yeah.
Times.
What kind? Was it oral, or was it?
A bit of both.
What'd she charge?
Usually me and Mary went out White stopped and he does some cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
And like, get some of the drink. Sitting talking bullshit. Oh yeah, she wanted money for the girl she thought for. And there wasn't anything, that was just sad.
Okay. Well, how was she? I heard she was kind of mouthy. She could be mouthy sometimes and tend to piss people off. Is that true, or?
Mary. I'm trying to remember if it was a time like that with us. When things got out.
I mean, I've heard some people say she didn't, and don't be offended, but she talked bad about black people to their face, but she don't have sex with black people. Did you get that impression from her, or that she, I mean, several people tell me that, and I'm like, well, that don't make sense to me.
Well, I found out over the last couple of days that a lot of things don't make sense.
Well, I understand.
Mary, I mean, I know she told me she loved to have sex, she loved that, but Mary did what Mary wanted to do.
Well, how did she end up over in Avondale? I never had her over there. I had all her business being done downtown or up on College Hill. You know, did you ever see her over there by your place?
That was one night. When Mary wanted some dope,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have money to get it.
Right.
And she wanted to know where it was. I'll take her up to the place about the A&Q.
A&Q Market?
Mm-hmm. Which is on the corner of
Reading and
Reading and
Hale, or no, what's that? Is it Hale or it's right there right where Blair, across from Blair and all that. Was that?
Quite a few things, huh?
Huh?
You know, quite a few things.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah, I do. I know you pretty well from what I mean, all the way going back to 85 or whenever the first time you got jammed up. I know you used to shave your head, you bathe in Clorox, and you used to have, I was surprised you had hair when they found you today. You usually don't have hair, but I guess things are getting pretty desperate.
Bathe in Clorox.
Or bleach. You used to use bleach a lot to clean yourself up. That's what Sherry told me. I thought it was weird. I don't know why. I just thought that was weird. Hell, you should be looking like Michael Jackson if that was true, shouldn't you?
When was the last time you see Sherry?
I called her and she came by and talked to me. Right in this room. We talked for about an hour and a half. You know, I've been looking into these two homicides. She had fears that you might have something to do with them. And, you know, I went from there. Just took some information from her, took some products that she gave me. You know, some products. She gave me some stuff that she thought might be helpful. But I won't go into that. You know, I think she had mixed feelings about you at the time. Because she didn't want to talk bad about you. And she tried not to, but she was scared of certain things about you. I guess it was all related to whatever happened between her and I don't know, her daughter or whatever. I don't really know anything about that. I tend not to pay attention to that shit. Because personally I know how it gets with women sometimes. The imagination and all that other shit. But I for almost 3 years now. I've been working Mary Jo's case and Cassandra's. And I'm trying to figure out if you did it or not. Reference last night, you know what's going to happen. It's not going to turn out good for you. The only hope that I have is that I can clear, if you have any conscience to clear, that I can be here to listen to your clear. I know that Roberta was at one time, and I still kind of believe very important to you. It's Miss Baldwin, I call her Roberta. Is that fair? She's very important to you. But number one is your son Anthony. When your son was born, you had a purpose in life. I know that, and this is from Sherry, from Roberta, from everybody. That little boy means a lot to you. And
it took him from me.
I understand that. And fair or unfair, it happened. And, you know, you can't repair what has happened in life. You can repair what's happened, you can't change what has happened. I can't change what's happened in life. All I can do is at some point in my life try to make everything right, and from this day forward, your son's going to hear some bad things about you someday. But
I don't even know if he's my son.
Well, you treat him like your son, and he's named after you. And I don't know too many women that name their son after their father, not knowing. Now you know Roberta. She was at one point, I don't know her really recently, but at one point she was very faithful to you. Okay? I mean, I still think she is, but I'm saying I don't see Roberta as a person that would do something behind your back. Now I'm talking about in the past. Now think about all the jams you got into, and where was she every time? She was with you, except the last couple. Maybe she started losing faith. But every jam you've been in, Anthony, who's been there? Roberta. And then you have little Anthony. And she's still, and even after all the jams you got in, she's still there for you. She thought about enough to name her son Anthony. So you know she think, huh?
I think that's kind of I know that it could be right, but also I was hearing too many things.
Here's another thing. I know that you deal with a lot of stress in your life, maybe sexually, I don't know. But I know that you don't go around killing everybody you have sex with, or kill people because you have sex, or, you know what I'm saying? People are going to look at certain things one way. That's one thing I've never done. I look at the facts as they are presented to me. I know what happened on all 3 homicides. I just was briefed on the one from last night. And I know the reason things were done. Okay, it's not because there's a sicko out there doing something to degrade women or something. You know what I mean? But my fear for you, Anthony, is your legacy. What are you going to leave behind? All you have left for little Anthony is the truth. And your mother. Your mother is very important to you also. I know you don't care for your stepfather. But your mother, and it used to be Roberta, and at some point Sherry, and nobody else means nothing to you, and Anthony, beside Anthony. I know that. It's always been that way. There's been nobody else there for you, man. I'm not not going to try to give you a hand job or you know, lie. I think it had something to do with Mary Jo's death. Now, whether it was an accident during an act which you were done and you panicked, I don't know. The only way I'm going to know why you killed her is if you tell me. But here's what I have a family, I have two families out there that, just like the last night's family, all they want to know is why. God will forgive you of anything you do. You know, you dabble in church for a while. You know, you don't have to look to me for forgiveness. You don't have to look for anybody else. You got to look for God's forgiveness. But the only thing you have to give your son right now is the truth. And someday he's going to know the truth of what really happened. And he's not going to want somebody else telling that. You know what I'm saying? And your mom's going to want to know the truth. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we think. Because once these cases get over to somebody that doesn't know Anthony, like I know you, they're not going to care. And I want to know the story. I want you to tell me the story of what happened and what got you to that point in these cases. I mean, and I got theories, and I don't want to base it on your theories. I mean, I'll tell you. I think that you, with Mary Jo, here's what I think. You had a relationship going on. You know, whether it was John, you know, the prostitute, whatever, what kind of relationship, whatever. You know, I'm not. That's how Mary Jo chose to live her life. That's the way she chose to live her life. There's nothing wrong with that. But Mary Jo is a very stubborn, mean-spirited sometimes. And I don't know if you knew this, she had some paranoid schizophrenic issues. That's not a very good combination when it gets heated. Okay. And if something happened there... Both of us. I know that. And she was off her medication. But did something happen that night? The last time we were together, and something get out of hand? See, that's the way I'm looking at this. I know this is hard, Anthony. Just take a deep breath and tell me a little bit more about you. Anthony, you're a good reader of people, aren't you? You know how to read people. And look at my eyes. Do you see anything but sincere? I might want to suck sometimes. I'm a very sincere person. I don't lay no bullshit on no. And I would expect that it's not laid on me. I don't get mad. If it is, I'll move on. But I don't want to move on. I want to give some people some answers. You know how you get shit in your throat sometimes and your heart aches? I've been, for 2.5 years, I've been trying to figure a way to get some family members. And Mary Jo's family, you might even know them. I don't know if you know Tony and all them, because they're from College Hill. You might even run into them. They're very religious people.
It was, you know, they don't take this as no excuses or no justification.
I'm not. You know
anything. But in 2003, I mean, just to say, you couldn't imagine. While I was in, even up until the point before I was telling her that as long as if he is my son, you gotta let me protect him. Got to.
I understand that. Was Roberta pregnant at the time? She's 3. When was he born?
2012. I see him around with people and everything at the church. I mean, they might do good things, but that's what they're wicked.
They're wicked or weak?
Wicked.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of the church. I mean, you're not telling me anything there.
It's just that all I really want is family.
I imagine
That's
that.
all I want.
Obviously,
Becky.
right. I mean,
Becky started kicking and talking. Her and John was arguing and bickering.
right. And you get put to the system, your past gets brought down on you. You have a lot of pressure, Anthony. I understand that, okay? I understand what drives a man to the brink. But the man has to explain what put him over the edge. Because you owe that. You owe that to people. You owe that to yourself. You owe that to little Anthony. Because someday, little Anthony's going to have... Anthony, you're going to be in prison the rest of your life. You know that. There's nothing about that. I mean, but your life cannot, all you can do is start from this day forward. And the only way you're going to be able to do that, you've been described as a person that can manipulate women and all that. No, you're not. You're just a person that is not understood by women. You're a person that is a very charming person. You had Sherry and 2 women I had over your heels on you at one time. You could snap your fingers, Anthony, and either one would come your beck and call. You know that. You're missing the point. Okay, don't listen to all this other. It is, you're a person that women do not understand. But you're also a person that women fall head over heels over. Look, where did you meet Roberta?
I met her at church.
Church. Right, you met her at church. And she was willing to look at you as a person and not what happened in the past. She accepted you for who you were for the longest of time. She loved you enough to have a child with you. And don't try to think this ain't your child. You know that's not true. What I'm just trying to do is clear the books, is trying to figure out
What drove me over the edge?
what happened with Mary Jo. What you do what you did with her.
What drove me over the edge in a lot of situations was...
Let's just talk about Mary Jo.
Mary Jo.
Anthony, I know you. So I don't need to know what other situation. I mean, I know what you're about. I feel like I've known you for years. For 3 years. But, you know, just because, and I've had to know you. I know every scrap ball you got into because they come to me. So here's what Anthony's done today.
My sister was singing with C.C.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, my sister was singing with C.C. Lyons and she has her own music.
Your sister, I talked to her.
Yeah.
She now?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's called me about you.
Has she?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Then
I don't know. I remember her name.
Right.
Because I got a file on these 2 cases long as this table. But do you understand? Do you understand what this is going to look like if you don't explain with Mary Jo? But if it isn't, wasn't okay, then that's what you tell me. What was it? What happened with you? Do you understand, Anthony? Your only shot is to tell the truth because your son doesn't want, you want the truth. What happened. You can't change it. Mary Jo's dead. But you did not go, you didn't leave that trolling down the street looking to kill somebody. I know that. But nobody else knows that. I don't tell anybody that because I can't.
Because you're right.
Would you?
You're right. And that is, if that's exactly where I will be for the rest of my life.
I mean, there's no doubt. You're going to be in prison the rest of your life.
The thing is, all that, it all went from I don't know. I'm not going to say that it's a dual personality.
For her or you?
I'm not going to say that. I'm not
Well,
going to
just tell me what it is.
It's I think it's like a coping mechanism.
Repairing me? Well, I understand that.
It's let's say like after a while, maybe it is I guess it would be a different character.
Well, what did this talk? What happened with this character then?
A different character.
What happened? You pick her up,
Yeah, but all that while there's always something else going on. There's always something else.
What else is going on?
That's either arguments with, or something that's not going through. Because I really wanted to be there with my mom. I wanted to be there with my mom, but my stepdad wouldn't let me.
No, wait, what are we talking about that day still?
Right.
Anthony, I'm not the smartest bear in the woods,
Right.
and I keep losing you. So let's stay on point. Let's just go back to the day that Mary Jo died. What happened? Then we'll go into the reasons why. And then we'll figure this out. Okay? Don't drift off point, because it's going to frustrate you, frustrate me, and then we're not going to be able to communicate. So you pick up Mary Jo somewhere in Mount Airy?
Who's College Hill?
College Hill, I'm sorry, where at? Whose car were you riding? Was it your stepdad's van or your van that he gave you? What was that, a white or green or what?
It was a
Great van. When you picked her up, where'd you and Mary go?
We stopped at the, actually we went up to Clifton. Went up to Clifton, went to Stagger Beach. That was after we went on tour to the Wine with Spirits, but changed it. Went down to Stagger Beach.
And where did you go?
We got something they, I don't remember when, in that Rowley's. Let me ask you a question. So you knew that Roberta had a relationship, she had a relationship?
No, the only one I know she has is the guy from last week. I don't know if she had relations or not. You kept saying she's not been loyal to you. I thought she was totally loyal to you. Then you're the one bringing up the questions. I'm saying, well, all I know, I kept track of Roberta, and she was straight up loyal to your ass.
Was she?
Yeah, hell yeah. You couldn't see that? Oh my God, the woman was in love with you. Dude, she had your kid, and she named him after you. And she stuck by you. Until your last thing. I don't know what, I'm saying, I didn't keep track of it anymore. My focus was off Roberta. It was on you. It never was on Roberta. The only way I got to Roberta, or knew about Roberta, was from looking at you. But let's get back on point with Mary Jo.
We got something to eat. Mary got her some dough. She wanted to get some hard or whatever it was. She still wanted to have some dough. They got some to eat.
So she had dope and weed?
I had the weed.
She had dope?
I know she didn't really drink much.
Mm-hmm.
But, after that, I can't really, it was a mess.
What happened? What made it a mess? Anthony, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What gets you to this point? You just think to walk and kill her, do everything you wanted to her and kill her.
Right.
What happened to make you kill her? You can't hide behind blacking out. You can't hide behind all this. You got to face up to what you did. Because you're not going to be able to live with yourself. No matter what, Anthony, happens after this, you're still living. And every day's a new day. And if it takes you till the end of your life, you're going to do some good for somebody. There's a if God didn't want you to live, you would have been dead. If God didn't want you to be here for a purpose, you'd be dead right now. You know that. No. Well, but you're not. So there's some reason you're still on this earth. And You need to face the fact of all the things that happened. And we examine them together and figure it out. And where do we go from here? Someday Anthony's going to have questions. And you do not want him to read newspaper articles about you. You don't want him to talk to some other people. You don't want him talking to Roberta right now, do you? Because of the situation she thinks she's into with you. That's what I'm saying. You want everything to come from Anthony Sr. You. And the only way that's going to come out is you talking about it. I have sat down with sons and daughters of people that sit in your chair and told me what they did and why they did it. And I tell them, 15-year-old 2 weeks ago, I told him why his dad did it. Or what he told me, and I couldn't disprove it, and we didn't try to. Because he explained himself. He still went to jail. He paid for his mistakes. There's nothing we can ever do about that. I can't sit here and offer you a golden cloud or whatever. All I can offer you is a clean, free, spirited heart. And you can go on from here. And you can probably sleep for one night. I'm sure you haven't slept last week. You're living in the woods. That's how desperate you become. You've been hunted like a dog for a week. The only place you had to go, all the people you ever cared about have turned you away. It's not hard to figure out. I'm not a psychologist and I don't play one on TV, but you're not a hard man to figure out. My frustration here is that I know that you have something you want to tell me, and you want to tell it, and I laid my soul. I told you what I'm all about. I told you what I'm all about. And I have exposed every angle of what I know to you. I've laid every card out on the table. I'm just telling you, I need to find out what happened to Mary Jo. So I can explain to the family what really happened when this comes down.
That means it was
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for your hard work. We've been at it for well over an hour and a half now, kind of closing on 2. So I think it's time to take a break. You want to go back for a couple minutes? You want to do that? I think there's a couple heads nodding. All right, we'll do that. Here, real quick again. Do not discuss this case among yourselves. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or even in your presence. It is your duty to not form or express any opinion on this case until it is all finally submitted to you. Please do not view, watch, read any media reports. You know the drill. You're doing great. We'll see you back. We'll shoot for 5 to 10 minutes. Try to keep it rolling for you. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's the person's real act. Scary.
Yeah, you can't get on the reason. Florida's was, you didn't need it. It didn't have to be a unanimous recommendation. It could be like 75 and federal judges. I mean, ours is, in Texas, even general say no more until everything.
See you, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, thank you for your cooperation. I see a lot of you drinking water there, but I'm telling you, Mountain Dew is the way to go. But to use jury, all right, thanks again for your cooperation. With that, we're going to keep rolling, Joe.
With Mary Jo? What happened?
She wanted to, so many questions. But she wanted, who's staying here? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Why are you over here? Who are these people? And real stuff.
So is Mary Jo trying to get in your business?
And it was to the extent well, maybe she'll stop by and find out for herself. Because, I mean, at the time,
Was Roberta working at this during the day when she was working, or where did Roberta work at the time?
she worked at the university.
And then little Anthony was not at home?
I was supposed to have working.
Where were you supposed to be working?
I think he was at, he might have been at my sister's.
Which sister was that?
Angie.
Now, so Mary Jo, she comes during the daytime? What time? Is it early in the day?
I was supposed to be doing some work.
Where were you supposed to be working at the time?
I was supposed to be looking for work.
Because you worked at the pickle place for a while. Kaiser.
Right.
Did you sell knives too for a while?
I sold those at Vector Marketing.
Did you work anywhere during this time period?
Kaiser's, Vector's.
Well, this is 2006, so were you still at Kaiser's?
I don't think so. I know that the more me and her smoked, the more and her drank, the worse things got.
What happened? Where did it come to the point? You had to leave before Roberta came home, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. So most of the time was traveling.
So where did you go after you left your house?
I drove around, tore down up by Eden Park.
Then what happened?
So by Eden Park, the argument, and then it just started going, getting worse and worse and worse. And
What happened?
I told her to leave it alone, but it was our son's mother's place. And she was just a friend. And then she wasn't really.
So she was kind of jealous about Roberta?
Well, she was actually more, Mary also wanted more money and she just more ability.
So she became a prop.
And
your friendship was being challenged.
And then she hit me.
Now, where was she hitting you? Where was this all happening at?
Up by Eden Park.
In the van? Then what happened? Did she die in the van? Is that yes?
Yes.
How did she die? What happened to cause her death? You choked her? I mean, how? Was it like this? Were you facing her? Were you in front of her? Were you behind her? I mean, were you guys face to face? And tell me how. What happened?
She, I choked her from the back.
Like putting your arm around her like this? Or, I mean, like this? Was she fighting?
She, Mary didn't fight.
Was she just...
She didn't fight.
That just don't sound like her.
But Mary,
Well, I mean, you know her, but...
she didn't. At times she didn't. Although she, she told me that actually she said, she turned around and she looked at me. And she told me that the death would probably be a good thing. The way her life has been.
She told you death would be a good thing, the way her life has been.
That's what she told me. So that the way that her life has been.
Is this why you're choking her or before?
This was she told me. When she turned around and looked at me, there was something in her eyes.
No, after she passed away, what did you do?
What did I do? Thought about how I could never be in another relationship. And the first thing that came to mind was the relationship back to when I had with Leo. And it came to mind.
That's what caused you. What did you do with Mary Jo? You take her somewhere? Or Adam Lattendale? Is it by your house? Is it by your house? Is that a yes?
Yes.
How would you get there? You go down, would you get to your house, you go down Ridgeway. How would you get down to where Mary Jo was? Is it off of Reading or is it off another street or what?
Either you can get to it by Reading, off of Reading, you can get to it by Reading.
You remember the name of the street? I mean, you know the name of the street.
Let's start with a W.
Start with a W.
And you can also get to it from another street that tell me the name.
You mean from the other way? That comes back the back way?
We'll get to it from that way.
Yeah, I know. But you can get to it two ways. Now, the name of the street I have is Weirman. Is that correct?
That's it.
Okay. So you took her to, what time of night did you take her there? Or day? Is it before?
Day. It's probably a couple hours after.
Well, I mean, what time was it? In the afternoon, in the evening? Was it dark out? So it was daylight. You took her there. Where did you take her body? First of all, she was dead at that time. Is that correct? You didn't do anything to her while she was alive. Am I right or wrong?
Right. What do you mean?
Other than choking her.
Right.
Do you get what I'm coming at?
Right.
Did you have sex with her while she was alive? You didn't have sex that day?
No.
Did you have sex with her after she died?
No.
Okay. Did you burn her when she was alive? Okay. So you took her to Weirman. Describe the area you took her to. I don't like to get fancy with people, but here's Reading, here's Weirman, and then there's a little dead end. There's a building right here. This is Reading again. And then that other street you're talking about, and you and Roberta lived over here on Ridgeway. This is the dead end. Okay, where did you take Mary Jo? This is that, remember that building there? There's a fence line here. And yeah, go ahead.
It was, right in here.
Okay, where did
That's the street, right?
That's a dead end street. Yeah, this is Reading, this is Weirman, but then it's a dead end. I actually think that's a different street, but this is Weirman, this is that dead end circle.
Okay, right there.
Where did you dump
Right there.
it? Was it right here? We're out of view a little bit, or up here? I mean, or over here?
It was,
I mean, this is a very crude drawing. I'm not going to get into this, you know.
it wasn't in view.
It wasn't in view, so we found her right over here. Would that be fair to say where she? Now we also, she was on fire, or was smoldering. What did you use to light to? What did you use to burn? Burned his corpse. I'm sorry.
I think it might have been gas.
Would that be gas in the back of your truck there? Did you have a gas can in your van?
I think so.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So you just used what was available? You didn't go out looking for gas? Or did you start the fire right then, or did you have to come back and do it later?
Started it right then.
Okay. What made you, why did you feel you had to burn a dead body? What was the reasoning? My personal belief, I thought that you were trying to get rid of evidence.
It's, fire purifies. That's what fire does.
It purifies?
Even with the planet, fire, all in itself, it always purifies.
Did you, so you poured...
It was, even though, see, fire purifies. That's what it does.
So, you're purifying Mary, is that what you're saying, or?
Well, no, not purifying. It's like also, it's like a proper burial.
So you're trying to give her a proper burial?
It was a proper burial. And even with the whites, I might say everything on what they were doing, they say with like the Vikings. Remember how they the religious
Right,
rights
Vikings did that.
and everything, religious rights. That's how they do it. I think it was.
How did you stay around and watch, or did you just leave, or? I mean, that's a long. Was it in daylight when you were burning, or was it night? And nobody saw anything? Does it create a lot of smoke when so you pour gas, and I understand there'd be an initial, well, how does the body keep burning?
It was on top of was it like plastic and wood? It was on top of that.
There was nobody else around that saw this or anything? And it was in the early evening, in light. Now, when did you hear that we found the body?
When did I hear?
Yeah.
The next day.
So you knew we found the body the next day? What did you do? What did you think then? You think you was in trouble? You thought? Did you ever think about coming forward and saying what really happened, or?
But I was scared. Although, I think people might have had some idea or something about it. But it was only maybe 1 or 2 other people that knew about it.
Who knew about it? That knew about what? That knew about you did this, or knew about?
No, that knew, well, from the first incident with
The
with her.
So that's, Roberta knew your history, did she? Not, or did she?
No, she knew. I mean, her never really sat down and talked.
Right.
We never. She said that whatever it was that I had done, that it was done and over with her. But we could start over. She gave me another chance to start over. I don't know why I thought that woman was cheating on me. She wasn't.
I mean, up to the point where I kept tabs on you. Let me ask you this. Prior to that day you picked Mary Jo up, how often have you been around her? How well did you know her prior to that day?
Mary Jo?
Yeah, Mary Jo. Do you know her last name?
Mary Jo never told me her last name. She told me her name. So her name was a Hail Mary. That's what her name was, Hail Mary.
So how long did you know her prior to that? Prior to that day where she died, how long did you know her prior to that? Was that the first day you met her, or did
Me and Mary had been going on.
So the only... Go ahead.
We had been going out. We had been actually, when Mary got out of the night she was at the Justice Center, and she got out, I asked her, and she said, because she had on a pair of these blue shoes. She had on a pair of those. And actually, me and Mary spent the night together.
Were you the boyfriend that you always talked about?
Did she say nice things?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Were you the truck driver, or the... Are you the one she talked about dating all the time?
Could have been. But, what did she say?
She said she had a real nice guy on the side. That's what she told other people, and they told me.
That,
I just kind of figured it was you.
and from the end, she used to tell me that I was always too nice to her. She said, you don't treat me like that,
What was she wearing that day that you died? Do you remember anything that she was wearing?
No, Mary was wearing. Wow. I think a halter.
A halter top? She wearing any kind of jeans, any special kind of pants, jeans, or?
Special type of pants.
Yes.
Can't remember. I can't remember.
She had shoes?
She had clogs or heels. Clogs.
She didn't leave him in the van, did she? Where were you in the van when you choked her? Was she in the passenger seat, or was she in the back?
We were, in the back.
Anything else about that I forgot to ask you? And you used gasoline?
It was gas. Well, actually, when everything started, that's when she got out. She actually ran around the van.
But she got out of it. Did all this happen? Where was the van at when you got in the altercation with her? Was it here on this dead end street?
No, I was in Eden Park.
Eden Park. Was there anybody around, or? She got out of the van and ran around?
Well, she ran around the van. And when she ran around, I chased her. And when we got in the van, I just choked her. And then she turned up and she looked up at me. And she told me that the way things were, she said that that wouldn't be a bad thing.
She was wearing a halter top. Do you, when you lit the fire?
She had a halter. I think she wore a halter. Or was that the last time that she was with me?
Previous time? That's fine if you don't remember. Didn't you think, let me ask you, now obviously what happened last night, the little girl was burned too. And Cassandra was burned, the first girl that back in June. Didn't you think that, when you did Mary Jo, you didn't burn, didn't you think the other one would be tied to you somehow?
I know that y'all not in the position that you're in by being stupid. I know that.
Well, so you know where I'm going with it.
I know that y'all are very highly intelligent people.
Don't give us that.
I'm not, it's...
See, one always has in our book.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not we don't try to stretch things, we don't try to, I think people think, we get gold stars for whatever we do. We don't get gold stars.
But you still, even to, there were two of us last night.
Well, that's something
that's right. That's something that I have to, but there were two of us last night. There were.
Well, that's going to be looked into.
And even after discovering everything, because had it actually been me, mine always, I'd burn them out. Burn them out because that's part of the burial.
Right.
That's part of the ritual.
So
burial. It's to
let the whole body burn and the whole spirit flow.
Right.
Well then, so Cassandra we found was burned out. The one back in May of the same year that Mary Jo. The one we found at dead end Blair.
Right.
That was completely burned out. Was that something you did?
That was something I told somebody about.
You told somebody that you did it? Right. So who did you tell about that? Well, so with Cassandra, what happened there? The little 13-year-old girl from 2 years ago, down dead end of Blair, 7/10 of a mile from Werman, where we found Mary Jo a month before. We found Cassandra. A month later, we found Mary Jo. Okay?
Mary Jo was
Mary Jo was yours.
Mary Jo was one.
Cassania was completely, because your omission was within the realms of how you do things, completely burned. Now you're saying that's nothing to do with you? Because Mary Jo.
Let me remember.
Okay.
It's the name that's the one, y'all.
Well, I don't know. You probably didn't know her. I don't know if you knew her name. There was a girl that we found in the woods in the same way you described the house.
2 o'clock in the morning. Had to be about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. That's what it was.
What happened?
In the morning. Again, I have been unique. I have been angry. Just at the bone of them.
What happened? Did you know this girl from somewhere? Where did you encounter her at?
Coming across the curve. We walked through the pike of the bridge coming from.
Well, there's a bridge that connects Walnut Hills High School.
Right, that's the bridge we come through.
So you saw, where did you first see her at?
At the, up here at the top of the bridge. That's where we actually.
You saw her on the bridge, the walk across bridge? Of the bridge that walks across 71?
Right.
Or I don't know, it comes across Hickory Parkway or someplace, Gilbert.
The school.
Right.
The school come down.
The high school?
I wouldn't go to high school.
Right. She's a little, here's the high school and there's a little path and then there's a bridge that goes across. Then that crosses over to the other side of Victory Parkway. Is that where did you encounter her at? On the bridge here?
Coming down, where it connected from where the high school is.
This is the high school side, this is the other side.
Coming down through here.
Okay.
That's where it is. Actually, it was coming.
So she was walking toward, across the bridge?
Well, actually, she saw me sitting here smoking.
What described the girl? Was she a small girl, a tall girl, a big girl?
So she was about my height. She's about my height. Slim girl.
She appeared to be school age or older or what?
Well, when she asked me about, when she asked me about the weed, I said she was old enough to be doing it. She actually said that she was old enough to be doing a lot of things. So I ain't sitting and talking and playing with that. But that went crazy too.
Well, what happened? She had a backpack, she had a cell phone, what did she have on her? When you say it went crazy, tell me what happened.
The money.
The you mean money?
She told me that she said that.
Excuse me.
I just really wanted to talk.
What happened?
Yeah.
What did you argue about?
But the girls playing games.
What happened to get it out of hand?
She actually slung everything. She slung everything back at me.
Like what? What did she sling at you?
The money. She slung that.
How much money?
It's $20.
So you gave her $20. And what were you going to get for the $20? Or what were you going to get for the money?
It was just more as I started off with 20 and the highest one was 60. But, it was just a talk.
20 to 60 to talk.
It was.
Where were you talking at? Were you talking here or on the other side of the bridge or where?
When she saw me, she was coming down the school as well.
She was coming from one of the hills. Mm-hmm. She encountered you where? Were you on the bridge? Right where the bridge meets the walkway.
Where the bridge meets the
You're smoking weed. What time? When was this? On night or day?
It's at night.
What time?
Maybe 1 or 2. It's about 1.
Okay, about 1 o'clock in the morning. Did she say where she was coming from or where she was going? Remember the conversation, it might be important.
She said she was going home.
She was going home? She say where home was?
Kirby. She told me Kirby. Wherever Kirby is. Where's Kirby? Kirby's in North College here, Lord.
So you sat down and talked. What did you talk about? Did she say she was in school? Did she say?
She didn't say that.
So you're talking here, and then you say things got out of hand. Did she do the money at you? What happened then?
I was me and her was talking. It was just more or less about the dynamics of a relationship. And if you was in a relationship, what certain things that some women might do, what some men might have encountered early in life on what they was doing, what they might have already encountered earlier in life, and why sometimes the importance of talking in this culture, of really talking and just being there because you got other people that come out in the relationship. And that will, if y'all not together, they don't see y'all, they could tell you about this, or if you hear bullshit about that, why is you doing such and such this, or such and such that there. And then if they already know this is a relationship, they already know that on how the relationship started, then that's how they can really get into you and destroy the relationship, which is really what happened with that.
Right. So she gets mad, throws some money at you.
She get mad and she go back, she said a couple of things. And then when she got mad, I got mad. Things.
Now what'd you do? need you? Now, how'd you choke her, from the front or the back, or did you, the same way you did Mary Jo, or? And where did you chase her to? Did you chase her across the bridge? Did you, all this happen?
We had already been across the bridge.
Oh, you went across the bridge?
Yeah.
You started walking? And when you cross the bridge, don't you go down some steps, or did you?
We go down some steps, or you can go around.
Right.
Around
So did you go down the steps or around?
we went down the steps.
And then, so you end up on Victory Parkway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And where did this confrontation start taking place?
Right at one of the trust.
And that's where you choked her?
That's what
Okay, how did you get to where we found her?
in the back.
We found her, you know where we found her? Dead in the Blair, in the wooded area. How could you pull her? What, I mean, did anybody see you?
I carried her actually.
You carried her all the way to that wooded area where we found her. Did you move her? Did you burn her that night, or did you wait? Did you come back?
She was already dead.
Right. Did you burn the body? Did you wait to come back and burn her? You did it that night. Right there in the. How did you do it? What did you use? What else? How'd you get the wood started? What? I know, what kind of accelerant did you use? Like, did you use gas again? Did you use turpentine? I don't know. Something had to help to get her burning. How did she burn so good? Anthony, you're this. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's important that you tell the whole truth. I mean, you already admitted it, the worst part. I mean, just tell me how you burn her. And was she dead when you burned her?
Yes.
Okay.
They were dead. They used, I can't remember what the name of this stuff was. I can't remember what the name of it was.
What do you mean the name of it? Where did you get it somewhere? Was it? I mean, what do you mean with the name of it? I don't understand.
I don't remember if it was lighter fluid or if it was gas.
You don't remember? But where would you get the lighter fluid or the gas?
I had it, actually, I went to that house that was next to Roberta that was working on there. Who was working on that house?
What house? The house directly next to Roberta Ridgeway? Or the one on Blair?
The one on Blair.
Which one?
The one where they had they have all the cars.
And what did you get from there?
It was lighter fluid. That's what I think it was. I think it was lighter fluid.
What made you go up there and get it? Did you come back later on and do it, or did you do it right all that night?
That night.
Or did you come back a couple of days later feeling bad that there's a woman in the thing and you need to purify it? If you came back a couple of days, I understand that. I just need to know.
Why you say a couple of days?
I don't know. I want to make sure that you're telling me the truth. Don't try to hide something from me because you're feeling bad about it or you don't want to look bad. Just tell me the truth. I mean, if you burn it that night, that's fine. Just tell me. I mean, I don't know. It just. Anthony, what makes it, I can understand Mary Jo in the car, because you had items in the car that you could use to burn. But with the other girl, you were on foot, and do you carry things with you? Okay, so?
I got it from one of the houses that were around.
Okay, this is a dead end of Blair. Here's the wooded area. There's a path that goes around the wooded area. This is all wooded area. And this comes out to the Blair, and there's all them cars and shit there. And there's a house here with a boat.
There's a dog barking.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. These houses, there's a house here. There's a couple motors.
And his houses.
Yeah.
Going up around.
Okay, and this is Victory Parkway, and this is the thing that goes over. Where in the wooded area did you dump Cassandra or the other girl? This comes out to Blair right here. This is the path that comes around the wooded area, and this is the little overpass to Victory Parkway, kind of you know what I'm talking about. And there's Walnut Hills across the street. And here's the overpass over here, right here. So you dumped her right here. That's where we found her. Now, after you burned her, did you cover her up? Did you come back and move her or anything? Is that part of the ritual? I mean, so do you remember anything around her? We found her partially covered up. That's what I was wondering if you did that or somebody else. Tires? Did you throw the tires on her? Why'd you do that? Scared that somebody might find out. And you burnt her dead body that night. After she was on fire, did you come back and move her further down, or did you ever come back to that site before we found her? We didn't find her for a week. So I'm wondering, did you have a chance to come back and move her because you were scared to put tires on her, or did you do all that night?
It was like early into the morning.
And nobody saw the fire or anything? Was it a big fire? And nobody saw it. Nobody came by. And then what you do? And you're saying that you got lighter fluid from somewhere up here. You sure it was lighter fluid? Did you keep the lighter fluid? Did you ever give lighter fluid to Sherry? A couple bottles one summer?
I can't give them to Sherry.
Yeah, she told me you did. Gave her 2 bottles of lighter fluid. She just thought that was a little weird.
We were having a barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah. And then even away from that.
And then what?
It was to give them, because even then, it was really a big deal.
Did Mary Jo, did you use lighter fluid or gas?
I think it was gas. I can't remember. All I know is I have anger management.
Well, I understand that.
And when I have them, they intensify. They do. They intensify. They just get worse.
Is that what happened with Cassandra?
And they get worse.
Did you have sex with Cassandra?
No, didn't have sex with her.
Did you have sex? I mean, Mary Jo, you already told me you had sex previously, but not that night.
Not that night. The accident I had.
What accident?
I had man.
No, I understand.
But I had right around, also around that time, toward like the end of 2004. That's when I had that bike accident. And I dislocated.
Oh, yeah.
I dislocated.
I heard a little bit about that.
And I had all of this here. All of this here was torn. I mean, but they also told me that for no thing, no little behavior attitude changes.
We never found Cassandra's cell phone, the young girl, the first girl. Do you remember taking it or getting rid of it or throwing it somewhere? Or
No.
what about, do you remember any shoes you may have kept or?
That's something else I've been noticing about them. People always wanted my shoes.
Wanted your shoes?
Yeah, they wanted my shoes for some.
Oh, yeah, that's whatever.
You think I'm a fucking idiot, a fucking monster, don't you?
No. I told you, I know you, Anthony. I never thought you were a monster. I think you have demons that you need to deal with, and this is what we're doing. We're dealing with them. The only thing I want is complete. You've admitted to killing Cassandra and Mary Jo. Okay? I don't want to find out something later that I know to be true that you didn't tell me. That one I'd be hurt because I think I know. You know what I'm saying? If there's something about Sonia I need to know, then I need to be told now. You know, I don't know if there is, and I'm not going to lie to you. And Mary Jo, if there's something that you're forgetting to tell me, think about it. I'll give you my card. Is there anybody else out there we need to be looking for? Because the reason I'm asking is you said that, and I understand the burning thing, they're dead, okay? The bottom line is they're dead.
They didn't have to be.
Right. I understand that, but I'm saying you acted like you've done this a lot more than the 2 times that we talked about. I read that wrong because you said I completely burn a body when I do this because of the biking thing.
The fire purifies.
The fire purifies.
That sounds kind of
Well, so this is what kind of there's a underpass, there's a viaduct all the way over here on Victor Parkway. Are you telling me you carried Cassandra all the way to here, or did this happen somewhere else? I mean, if you did, that's fine. I don't know. Does that what happened? You went underneath the viaduct and killed her?
We were already talking. I mean, it's just like the initial directed and all this and that. Like I say, she's about mine. When I'm 6, she's about mine. Slim good. So,
Did you know she was only 13? She looked bigger than... Did she have her glasses on?
No glasses.
How was her hair?
Her hair was down here.
Shoulder length?
It was in I think a weave or something.
Hair was in a weave? Did she talk about anything that happened earlier that night? Did she talk about any problems with a boyfriend, any problems with other people?
They were, matter of fact, she hung up with who else he was on the phone.
She was on the phone with somebody and she hung up? Do you know who she was on the phone?
Like a lot. It sounded, it did sound like not a heated argument, but a little argument.
So she had an argument with somebody on the cell phone. Did she hang up because she just met you, or were you already in the middle of your conversation?
And she, I still like to say she saw me smoking weed.
Right.
She smoked the weed and she hung up. So she was talking on the cell phone when she met you?
No.
Okay. But when you first, it wasn't in the middle of your conversation, it was when she originally met you, you say she was talking on the cell phone.
Yeah.
And she hung up. And didn't say, hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? What's you?
Because I asked her, she was old enough to be, she's old enough to be, so I asked her something.
So you asked her, so you kind of figured she was a little young.
Yeah, but, and then that's like also if you see, like, you might see a woman smoking a cigarette.
Right.
And then you might ask her, well, are you old enough to be doing it? This more or less could be like a compliment.
A compliment that
Because it was kind of, even though it's lighting over there, it's not real bright lighting.
Well, and this is just something that I've noticed. You have a propensity to like younger women. Like me, I was young. Whether that happened or
She was 19.
right, that's what I'm saying. So maybe you were confused about her age or something.
Right.
Did you ever have, Anthony, was the problem with you, I'm trying to figure out what would trigger you off. Is the problem that the people that you would end up with, the ones that really fought it off, is that what triggered your anger in it?
Usually when I met or...
Like Maya was pretty, she was out there, she was wanting money for what she did, maybe. From what I understand, that's what I got out of her.
But then usually when I met Maya, it was already some bullshit. It was already some bullshit involved. And I was probably already angry.
What I just wonder, it just seems like so you burned to cleanse. Did you ever go back and visit Cassandra that week she was missing? Did you ever do anything to the scene to conceal it, or did you just stay away?
I went back.
You went back? When did you go back?
After it was announced, I think they had something about it.
What did you do when you go back?
I went back and looked at this. Remember.
Did you initially burn Cassandra up here and then use something to move her down? Describe that. What did you do? How? So we got the impression that Cassandra was originally burned up here by the sidewalk. Is that true? That's a yes? Okay. What made you push her down to the place where you found her where she was covered in tires? You knew all that night? Or did you come back a day or two later? I mean, if you did, I'm just trying to get a clarification. What did you use to push her down the thing? Did you push her with your hands? Because he's burned, obviously. Did you use a stick, something, I don't know, did you use something while she's burning?
She was out. She was hot.
She was hot and burning. Did you burn yourself? She was too hot to burn, to use. You sure you didn't use that 4x4 we found? Because we found a big pole with burn on the end.
That might have been when she was in the stir.
Stirred initially or stir when you put her down toward the end?
Stirred initially.
It was a pretty big pole, you know what I'm talking about? Real, it's 4x4 about this long.
They know bones about that. They wasn't that hot.
How long did you stay there that night, watch her burn?
How long did I stay? I stayed with her all day.
Did anybody ever come by, like some of the people hanging in the area? Nobody ever came by. Was there a lot of smoke or was it just internal flames?
What time did you get home that morning? Let me ask you. Cassandra was killed the night she went missing, which was a Wednesday night. Mary Jo was killed on a Wednesday night. Was that an off day for you, or was that a day that you didn't work, or you didn't have a job, or was that just coincidence? 2006 now. I know you had a job at Kaiser, so who'd you work for? I think the car wash.
What car wash? Is there anything else? Is there anybody else that we need to talk about? Anthony, I know that you said there was another guy with you last night. No, I don't know enough about it, but on the face value, you're a loner. Okay? You're a guy that's always by himself. That's why you are in the position you're in. Well, who did that?
Jumped on.
I know you jumped on by who? The guy that was with Roberta, wasn't it? Was that the guy that, was that the shit that happened with Roberta last week?
He hit me with a bow.
Who's that?
But this wasn't that bad.
Okay, who hit you? Oh, the guy last week. But when you're saying that happened last night?
No.
Oh. Okay. All I'm saying is, about last night, I'm going to tell you, Anthony, I got a pretty good relationship with you right now, and I told you I wouldn't lie to you, and I haven't. I think you acted alone last night. Okay? I think what happened last night is similar to what happened to the other two girls. That things got out of control, and the same situation appeared. The only thing that happened is that you had finally hit the wall last night and you couldn't run no more. And when we found you in the woods, that's when your life started over again, basically. That's when you finally, all this stuff that had happened in the past caught up with you. You know what I'm saying? And I can't tell you how to live or what to do, but you sat here and talked to me for 2 hours about two other people that their lives ended as a result of something that you got involved in with them. And the one last night, you need to come to grips with. Don't try to mince words. Don't try to bring somebody else into it that's not involved. And I'm telling you what I believe. You want to hear it from me straight up, and I will. I'm telling you straight up. I believe you acted alone last night. You know?
Gave you that impression.
Because I know you, Anthony. I told you. You don't do nothing in tandem. You've been a loner all your life. You've done things by yourself all your life. The only other people you involved in stuff are women. You don't go hang out with other guys. You've never been. You're a loner. Other than the women in your life and your son, it's you. There's nobody else. It's just logic. And you know what? You're in it for a penny. You might as well get your soul clear today. Like I said, Anthony, you're spending the rest of your life in prison. I'm pretty sure of it. If I was a guess, I'm not a judge. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, based on the facts, you know that. There's nothing we can do about that. But the thing that you need to think about, and you have thought about it, this is what kind of confused me, is about last night, is don't
Don't put somebody else in your business. You never have before. Why would you start now? You know what I'm saying? Just tell us what happened last night. There's a lot more story from last night that we already know because of the evidence is a lot fresher. You don't have to fill in a lot of holes from last night. But in the same vein, we don't want to paint a picture based on what we think happened.
What do you think happened?
I don't want to put myself out there again. I think you know what happened. I mean, tell me. I mean, just tell us what happened. Anthony, you're at a point in your life where you were desperate. They came to me the other day looking for you, and they asked me where they think you were because the situation with you had warrants on you. They came to me, and you never met me before, have you? You didn't know I existed. I said, look here. I said, you need to go to College Hill because he may go back to Mom. But you'll probably find him in the woods somewhere because he's got no place to go. That's what I told the officers that were looking for you. And it's not because I'm smart. It's not because whatever. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not worse than somebody. I'm just a dude doing my job. My job was to find out about these two people 2 years ago, which I've been doing, and I got to know a person. I've never...
Go ahead.
I'm giving you the opportunity to talk about last night, too. Based on what I know, I think you ought to take it. But I am not going to tell you what to do. I don't know much about last night, but I know that they told me you mentioned another dude or something. I don't know. And I'm thinking, no, he don't have nobody, because if you have somebody with you, you'd have been in jail by now. What, the dude that was with you is in here? So the dude that did this last night is you. And you're saying it was your other, I don't know, you explain it. You're getting into...
I don't know how to handle a lot of stress.
I understand.
I don't know how to handle a lot of the drama. I don't know how to... I lash out. But it just gets to the point to where it's overbearing.
What happened last night?
I'm an emotional wreck.
I understand that, Anthony. And I don't need to know how you feel, because I know how. You don't need to tell me how you feel, because I know how you feel. If you want to tell me what happened last night, get all the cobwebs that you were given earlier to other cops, that's fine. I'll sit here and listen to you. I'm going to meet with the man tomorrow and tell him. I'm going to tell him who you are and what you're all about. Because I have to. Not because I want to, not because I owe anybody, because it's my job. Here's what the man told me about Mary Jo. Here's what the man told me about Cassandra. And here's what the man told me about the young lady from last night. I am sorry, I don't even know her name. I was just called in here I was on vacation. Huh? Emmy? Did she tell you her name? Is that yes?
She told me her name was Louise.
She told you her name was Louise? So what did you just... Well, okay, I understand that she was running. Or jogging or something?
But That's why I keep hearing that she was out doing.
Well, no, what did you observe her doing? I don't know. Okay, just tell me what you observed the young woman doing and how this got to the same conclusion that the other two got. What happened? What did she, I mean, just tell me. I'm not going to try to put words in your mouth. Yeah, I want the truth. Flat out truth. You don't have to tell me stories of how you got to where you were last night. Remember, I know. Just tell me what happened. Just the facts, man. And I know why you're angry about the shit with Roberta, is that correct? That's what led up to this, am I right or wrong?
That and blanket.
Okay.
And I kept thinking about the things shared. But for a while, after that incident happened, the Friday night, I keep that in me like, I called so many people to even if they didn't want to.
You know, Anthony, we know how it got up to this point. All somebody is asking is what happened to cause a slow growth.
How did they get up to this point?
Because of all the pressure you've been under. You've already explained it to us. We know that it was shit, that it was a Roberta situation. We know that you had no place to go. That's what got you to the situation. We already know all that. You've told us that. All I'm trying to tell you is you need to come clean totally with what happened last night. Okay? Because you know why. You have to come clean. To get peace with yourself. You're almost there. You're 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 stains that you have going around are off the books. They're going to be dealt with accordingly. And this one's going to be, you don't want to be dealt with on our terms. You want it on your terms, which is the truth. What time did you encounter this young girl?
It was about 3.
About 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Where did you see her at? Just tell me general area. I'm not going to show you a map. I don't know. Tell me the story because I don't know it.
I saw her, and after we ran into each other, I was going one direction, she was going the other.
What happened?
I mean, it was just, it was all, I wasn't watching where I was going.
Right.
And I don't know, man. It was just, I was so fed up.
Did you, when you encountered her, bumped into her, did you start a conversation and walk with her? Or did you immediately get mad at her? And
She was apologetic.
She was apologetic?
She was apologetic.
And what happened?
Being apologetic. That didn't really.
How did you know her name? Did she tell you her name? Is that yes? What did she tell you her name was?
She told me her name was Louise.
Louise, but when I said Emily, or you told me Emily, it was Emmy. How did you get that name?
I saw it on the paper.
On the paper?
From paper that Keith had.
Oh, okay. So
I was as honest as I could be with Keith.
well, I understand. Keith, believe me, Keith understands. But Keith also didn't want to get, he wouldn't want to sit around and listen. Keith's got a family.
Right.
And at some point in time when people start laying a bunch of shit on you, and they're not going to come around and do the right thing, you go home to your family, because that's what you need sometimes.
Right.
And so he went home to his family. No, Keith's Keith. Keith's not pissed off. Okay?
What I saw in his eyes was, what I saw in his eyes was, how can an individual get to that level? How can an individual?
Well, let me give you a little secret. Keith, although he's talked to you personally, the only reason I haven't is because the last time we talked to you, I was unavailable. Okay? I'm the one that fed Keith all the information about you that I knew. But still, what I know about you is from what I've done. Okay? I know you. So I understand a little bit more. And
based upon everything that you...
1 o'clock, is this a good time though? Or this is a good time? Okay, all right, go ahead and stop. Thank you, Ms. Crider. Everybody okay, ladies and gentlemen? You guys are doing great. You're doing great. And we're moving along as you know at this point. So just remember all the admonitions. We're going to go ahead and take a break for lunch. Get a chance to go outside. I guess it's decent out, I don't know for sure. But we'd like to have you back in our jury room at about 5 till 2. Or get there when you can get there. We'll do it that way. But about 5 till 2. So we try to kind of start at 2 o'clock. And we will go no later than 4:30. Is that correct, Council? Yes, sir. Everybody's still good with that? I told you that, and you're helping me stick with it. So remember the admonitions. Forget all about all this stuff for a while. We'll see you back about 5 till 2 in the jury. All right. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Let the record reflect the jury's left the courtroom. Anything for the record at this point from the state?
No, Judge, let's do one talk just about scheduling. I think there's about, according to what we've calculated, about 10 minutes left on this, and then the final one's about an hour and 20 minutes.
So we should be able to hit that 4:30 and do what we're doing. Okay, sounds good. Anything from the defense?
I don't believe so, Judge.
All right, thank you. See you back at 2 then. We should be able to knock that out and get the person on their way. So thank you all very much.
I can try to